faith, every spiritual tradition has practices and creative rituals and ceremonies to help us remember what matters, to reconnect us. And in the Buddhist tradition, the kind of key teaching and ceremony is around what's called the Three Refuges. And we're going to be exploring them. They're really archetypal pathways, because you can find them really, these gateways back to what we love. You can find them in every tradition in some form. And they give us a way, these three refuges, these three ways of paying attention, of reconnecting with what we love, of kind of homecoming. We move from this egoic contraction where we're living in this story of a limited self back to a sense of real belonging. The second refuge in Buddhism is called Sangha, which has to do with the community of the spiritual, our spiritual community, and in the deepest way, when we take refuge in Sangha, we're taking refuge in our connectedness with all beings, in loving presence. The outer refuge in love, or Sangha, is turning towards those relationships that help us experience connectedness and open-heartedness in widening circles. Traditionally, it was the community of those that followed the Buddha, and it widens out really to be the community of beings. And so we find different ways to wake up in those communities with the understanding of we can't wake up without each other. It's in realizing our belonging that we become free. It's really about recognizing our belonging to something larger. The biggest illusion, the pain we live in, is that we're separate, we're small, we're limited, we're apart from others. I heard a story a couple of years ago. One woman shared about her brother and her father. And her father had been really unable to communicate love to his children, and even though later she found out he loved them all very much. So her brother was dying of brain cancer, and his wife told her that the only thing missing for Jay, for her brother, in his life was that his father never told him that he loved him. That was the only thing missing. And so this woman encouraged her father to, on the next visit, to go ahead and let him know that his son, that he loved him. And he agreed. He went, visited him, and came back and said, well, the subject just didn't come up, But he had been blocked for a really long time, and he was scared, okay? So then she got a call. It was one of those final calls, and it seemed her brother would probably die in about an hour. So he's blind, he's paralyzed, he hadn't spoken for a week. So she called her father, and she said, Daddy, you have one chance. Jay will probably die today. Please pick up the phone and tell him that you love him. So this is what she wrote. She says, and Daddy did just that. He called Jay and told him that he loved him. And Jay, who hadn't spoken for a week, started talking and talked to Daddy for a half an hour. And Jay didn't even die that day. He rallied and lived for another month. It's all about love. In this human realm, we long to love and be loved. It's the most awake expression of our being. So the outer refuge, serving, being together, waking up together. The inner refuge is any way of paying attention inwardly that wakes up and softens and opens our heart. So let's take a pause here, and we're going to explore that inner refuge of love, of Sangha. As you close your eyes and as you pause, just bring the attention really into your body. Feel your breath. And feel your breath at your heart. You might bring to mind somebody or some being that's very easy to love. What we might call an uncomplicated kind of loving. And let this person, or it could be a pet, be close in. So you can see their eyes and see the light that comes through their eyes. What it's like when they're expressing love or affection. What it's like when they're happy. The goodness that comes through this being. You might mentally feel, and in your body feel yourself appreciating. And then mentally whisper the being's name and just say thank you. Just say thank you. And someone else that you love. Again, bring that being close in so you can see what the eyes look like when they express care and affection. What it's like when this being is happy. Just the aliveness and creativity, humor, the goodness of this being. And let the feeling of appreciation be visceral, felt sense in your body. And in your mind to whisper the name and say thank you. Notice what happens when there's that sincerity and appreciation. Letting yourself rest in that field of loving and tenderness. This is the warmth and radiance of what's described as the empty, open, diamond heart. Rest in this heart space. Mary Oliver writes, so every day I was surrounded by the beautiful crying forth of the ideas of God, one of which was you. When we take refuge in Sangha, in love, we start experiencing all beings as sacred. We sense the secret beauty in all beings.